So, Dandadan was one of the most popular animes of 2024, right? It was nominated for a ton of awards, the movie made a cool $3 million opening weekend, and they even collaborated with Uniqlo. That's when you know you made it. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this show is fancy. The creators must be some posh film school grads with designer sunglasses and turtlenecks and unhealthy obsessions with celery juice. But the truth is much weirder, because this anime about ghosts and aliens trying to steal your nutsack was made completely by accident by a couple of drunk people with depression. How did that happen? Glad you asked. It's 2020 and a man is sitting alone at a messy desk. He's about to create one of the biggest manga of the decade, but not just yet. Right now, he's stuck. Fuck, I'm stuck! This man is Yukinobu Tatsu, and for the last 10 years, he's been trying to make a name for himself in the anime world. He's done everything. Read every book, learned every technique, watched every YouTube tutorial.
Are you ready to put those scallops in the pan? Do not put the scallops in the pan.
But nothing seemed to work. He's frustrated, worried that if he doesn't come up with something quick, the manga industry is gonna chew him up and spit him out faster than raw scallops.
It's fucking raw!
Weird items clutter his desk. A receipt from a convenience store, a baseball, and an Amazon Alexa that just won't shut the f*** up! Alexa, what?
This is a reminder for your appointment at Coco Malone Bar in 60 minutes.
Okay, Alexa, stop. He sinks back into his chair, on the verge of calling it quits. Maybe he's not cut out for this line of work after all. How did I even get here? He wonders as he scans the room. The receipt catches his eye and suddenly, emotions start to bubble. He remembers the early days when he used to work as a cashier at Family Mart, the long cold nights standing at the cash register, the greasy smell of famichiki, and the sense of absolute dread and purposelessness he felt while working there. See, back then, Tatsu had no idea what he wanted to do with his life. Like many other fresh grads at the time, this man couldn't find a job that didn't involve bagging groceries. The uncertainty ate at him, day after day after day. In this restless state, he developed an annoying habit of doodling on the back of receipts to take his mind off of things, often leaving dozens of them littered over the counter. One day, his manager sees the mess and... Hey, that's actually pretty good. You should do manga. Maybe I will. And so, the still jobless Yukinobu Tatsu with his newfound ambition hatches a plan. He remembers seeing an ad for a local manga competition in a magazine he read a while ago, and just like that, game time. The plan was simple. He'd draw the sickest manga ever of his favorite anime, win the competition, and use the clout as a springboard to help him break into the manga industry. He'd work at Family Mart during the day and spend his nights grinding. I'll put in more effort than anyone else, he convinced himself. Surely the judges will recognize my efforts. So he gets to work, pumps out a 100-page long manga about the history of Gundam, and a couple weeks later, he gets an email. He reads the first line. Thank you for your interest in this competition. Oh shit, it's one of those. He doesn't even have to read the rest, but he does anyway. And when he gets to the bottom, something's there that isn't usually there. Hey, sorry you lost, but we like your work. You want a job? Next thing you know, Tatsu's pulling 18-hour shifts working under mangaka Yudai Sono on a Gundam spin-off, soaking in all the industry's techniques like a sponge. Hard to believe it all started on the back of a receipt. God damn it, Alexa! I'm kinda in the middle of something here!
This is a reminder for your appointment at Coco Malone Bar in 30 minutes.
Okay, fine, God! Where was I? His eyes catch the next item, the baseball. After years of backbreaking labor as an assistant mangaka, Tatsu felt it was high time he made it on his own. I'm gonna make it on my own. So he starts writing a manga. This is gonna be so cool. Years pass and in 2013, he releases Fireball, a baseball manga that would put his name in the big leagues. It had all the techniques he honed over the years, the culmination of all his learnings, his finest work. And when it came out, it kinda stank. Okay, to be fair, it got some attention, but nowhere near what he was hoping for. So at this point, Tatsu starts feeling like shit, especially since Fireball was his second attempt at getting his name out there. His first manga did even worse. But RN Jesus would smile on Tatsu again, cause after a couple weeks, he gets another email. Hey, sorry your manga kinda sucked ass, but you want a jab? At this point, we gotta remember that Tatsu's been working as an assistant for the better part of a decade. He's tired of living in someone else's shadow. I mean, the whole reason he wrote Fireball was to make a name for himself, right? So the last thing he'd want is another gig as an assistant. But this time was different. This time, he'd be working with big shots like the authors of Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise. Huge titles! There's so much he could learn, so many techniques he could absorb, and he could always just work on his own manga on the side, right? So he swallows his pride and takes the job. Which brings us to today. Tatsu's been at it for years at this point, guzzling knowledge like a thirsty hooker. So why isn't anything working? Surely things should be working by now. Dread fills his chest. And to make matters worse, Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise are just about to print their final chapters. Soon, he'll be out of a job. Again. And no closer to his breakout manga. He's stuck. Very, very stuck. Which is just as well, cause... That'll do, pig. That'll do. Next scene. It's 9 PM, and Tatsu's downing shots like a madman. Next to him, a slightly older, equally Japanese-looking man named Shihei Rin. Rin is kind of a big deal. He's the editor for some top-tier animes like Blue Exorcist, Spy Family, and more recently, Chainsaw Man. In fact, he was the guy who got Tatsu his gigs in the first place. He saw Tatsu's potential early on and has been mentoring him ever since. Bruh. Tatsu groans. I'm cooked. I'm never gonna be famous and live my dream of doing a collab with Uniqlo. This man is hurting. He's poured his heart and soul into his craft, pitching ideas only to be rejected over and over again. Sensing his desperation, Rin puts his hand on Tatsu's shoulder. He turns to him and says the 3 words that would change his life forever. Bro, just stop trying. And also, go read 100 romance novels. Your stories kinda suck, dude. The pair spends the rest of the night slamming drinks and pitching manga to each other. Ideas fly off the walls. As the night goes on, the ideas get better and better until... Okay, listen. How about a story where the main character loses his balls? And there's ghosts and aliens and shit, and one of those funny little cat toys that wave at you at Chinese restaurants, and there's this really hot granny. I'm talking... Holy fuck. Let me write that down. And that was the start of Dandadan. Whoosh. We're back home now. The next day, Tatsu sobered up and at it again. He barely remembers what happened the night before, but that's not important. What's important is, he's this close to smashing his head against the corner of his desk and finally ending it all. The guy is bricked up again. He rummages through his pockets and finds a piece of paper. It's the one from yesterday. As he tries to piece together the events that produced this cursed artifact, his mentor's voice echoes through his head. Just stop trying. Just stop trying. What the hell? It's magic. In that moment, Tatsu lets go of all the frameworks, procedures, and techniques he'd spent his whole life obsessing over and starts having fun. He draws the wackiest things that come to mind. Alien monkeys, crab monsters flying spaceships, a horny granny that runs really fast. He takes bits and pieces from all his favorite shows and Frankensteins them together into something that looks like it came out of a fever dream. Hours turn into days, turn into weeks, and the next thing you know, Tatsu's in a meeting with the editorial board of Jump Plus magazine, pitching Dandadan to the bigwigs, and for the first time in a long time, it gets approved. And the rest was history. And the winner is... Dandadan!